Far below Mount Ebott awaits a kingdom of monsters, locked away after a long, vicious war between them and humanity. They wait eagerly for a human to fall through the cracks in their prison, because with a human soul, they may break the chains that hold them back and return to the surface to enact their terrible revenge. That, or they might just become your best friends. You decide! This is the story of Undertale, brought to you by Camille's Harem. Not just a podcast for novice writers by novice writers, but also a YouTube channel by novice writers for novice writers. Because writing is an adventure, it's more fun with friends. And I, Lars, am returning to the game and the world of Undertale for a writer's review. I've already done one review of this fantastic game before, but now that we are doing a year-long series of game reviews, I wanted to revisit this landmark game and answer a question. Why does this game still hold so much relevancy? For its 5th year anniversary, everyone came out in support of the game, and it is still generating merchandise, pulling people in, and getting people excited for its companion game, Deltarune. It is a game that is still referenced in comparison to other indie games, and a game story that still inspires other people. It is one that others look to and say, that is a game that explores character choice. And when I return to it again, it is still as immersive and entertaining as it was the first time I played it. Probably even more so now. So why is that? The answer is that Undertale has a powerful story, and I tip my hat to Toby Fox for just how amazing it is. Toby, you have really honestly made a masterpiece. This is the kind of story that really only works, though, within a video game, because unlike a movie or a show or even a choose-your-own-adventure book, Undertale has the means necessary to respect and react to every choice you make, delivering a variety of endings that reflect the story you carve for yourself throughout the runtime of the game. It can deliver a chilling ending to its genocide path, bittersweet endings for any neutral path you choose, or an emotional, fulfilling conclusion to the pacifist route. That is why still after all this time, Undertale remains a powerful story. But as a writer who's trying to help out other writers, I now need to ask, how? How does Undertale deliver such a beautiful, incredible story? That answer comes in 3 parts. The game's incredible cast of characters, the game's world building, and the characters' choices. Let's start with the characters. Every freaking character in this game has personality and life to them. From the joking but sinister Sans to his serious but hilarious brother Papyrus. From the ADHD, overly passionate Undyne to the self-doubting, anxious otaku Alphys. And from the sad but loving Toriel to the grieving and desperate Asgore. From the sadistic Flowey to the kind and gentle Azrael. The main cast is so full of life and character. And we can't even forget characters like the flamboyant scene-stealing Mettaton, or the angry dummy, the ruckus band of guard dogs, the mysterious boatman, and the depressed ghost. They all add flavor to the story. Every monster you meet, every vendor, every NPC, they all have jokes to crack, personalities to reveal, stories to tell, and a world to explore and explain to you. A story lives or dies by its characters. Undertale is not considered a highly complex or difficult game. Gamers who are always looking for the next high or challenge breezed right through Undertale. But the characters left a dramatic impression on them. Each character has a story of their own, revealed through the dialogue or the overall plot of the game. Every battle tells you something about these monsters, and you have the chance to interact with them. They become your friends or your victims. But I'm getting ahead of myself right there. Undertale is a story full of smaller stories, and that is what makes a world and its plot feel lived in. These characters do not exist to merely push you, the protagonist, along, but they are all living their own lives, and you get to interact with them. You change them, and they change you. A story that can pull that off, where all the characters are the main characters of their own story, but all complement each other, is one that is balanced and dynamic. That is a very good cast of characters, a very strong one. And Undertale has one of the most colorful and dynamic casts of characters in any game I have ever played. And if you need any evidence beyond the game, just look out there on the internet or at a comic convention where the characters of Undertale continue to thrive in our collective memory. Next, I have to look at the game's incredible world building. Undertale is bursting at the seams with amazing set pieces, items, characters with important stories, and clues that altogether reveal the story of Undertale. As you explore the world, the tale unfolds of monsters locked away after a horrible war, and they lost all hope until a young child fell into the underground and was adopted by Azrael and his parents. The great tragedy plays out before you reach the end, but by this time, you know of the prophecy of the angel, who will one way or another liberate the monsters. And you also know about the mechanics of the soul and so much more when it comes to this game. I love how its mechanics are part of the world's lore itself. And the world of the monsters, deep down in the underground, it feels cramped. You can see why they fear overpopulation and why they are teetering on the brink of despair. But they have crafted an amazing, magical, mechanical world that seamlessly blends sci-fi and the fantastical. The music that accompanies the different levels adds to the ambiance and atmosphere. The little side games, the characters you meet, the secrets within Undertale make this world just feel completely full. Again, another way of saying it is that it is lived in. You can see that every spot within Undertale has seen feet, hands, lives. But beyond that, there are moments where the world draws you in powerful, unexpected ways. For example, the piano in the middle of the caves near the waterfalls. Oh my gosh, I am a horrible piano player. Really, I suck at instruments, but I decided this time I would try my hand at it. As I got the rhythm down, I realized I was playing Azrael's theme. I never knew that before. His theme. And I started getting emotional. This beautiful bit of foreshadowing built right into the game. It's right there for you to explore and find. And then Asgore and Toriel's separate homes tell a story all their own about who these characters were and are. And the world building just conveys the heartbreaking side of Undertale's core story. The world rewards you for exploring it. And that is phenomenal world building. Good world building isn't just about making sense of the story and its various mechanics or delivering something cool, but telling part of the story through the story's surroundings, the mechanics of your world, its history. That is S-tier storytelling, when the world building itself helps to tell the overall narrative. Finally, we have the plot. There is a core story to Undertale revolving around the dreamers and the human child they adopted, and this is complemented with the terrifying research discovered under Alfie's lab, and the exposition given by Sans should you fight him. But that again is more part of the world building than how the plot itself unfolds. The plot unfolds according to your choices, the player's choices. And that is key to every choose-your-own-adventure story. Toby Fox was very clever and methodic with each possible ending and its lasting consequences. He wanted to impress upon us just how much your choices mattered, and that endears you to the world and its characters even more. This is partly why fans of the game early on freaked out at professional gamers for slaughtering their way through the story. I've always loved and enjoyed stories where you as the reader have autonomy, but so few of them really make you feel like you are in the driver's seat. Undertale, however, does that very, very well. The game's ending is your reckoning as the player and judges you based on your choices. And what I find particularly impressive is the course of the pacifist run. If you want that sweet, peaceful ending, you have to work especially hard and make the conscious choices to save and befriend monsters. But there are times where you find yourself shedding blood, especially when facing Asgore. The game faces you to get to know him through the dialogue and your fight, and finally by sparing and talking to him. Your heart then goes out to the guy, and then he's killed right before your eyes, and then Flowey gets his chance to torture you, and you get to experience your best nightmare. This long, bloody path, full of hard choices and the horrors of the lab, make you realize just how important it is. if you love these characters and their world, to be a pacifist and to save them all. That determination brings you to face Azrael in the final awesome battle of fate and everything. And this culminates in such an incredible, emotional resolution. Yes, this game makes your choices matter in such a personal way. And when you combine that with the world building and the characters, you have a near perfect story. And that is why Undertale is still relevant today, why it still impacts its fan base and new players, and why it continues to inspire others. Toby Fox, once again, thank you so much for this masterpiece. And thank you, dear viewer, for joining me on this adventure through Undertale. I will next examine the game Deltarune, and I will then cover the game Ori and the Blind Forest. And others in the harem, Camille, Nathan, Scott, and Spencer, will also come out with their own game reviews before long. If you want to watch those, please subscribe and ring the bell icon for notification. And please, share this video around. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and you can help us get there. Thank you for joining us on this adventure that we call writing. It is so much fun to look at the stories that inspire and teach us. If you want more of this, please go check out our other videos and our podcast episodes. And until the next video, y'all, tschüss.